Hello, athletes. Welcome and thank you for tuning into the Coach Katie Danger podcast, recorded live from Omaha, Nebraska. I'm your host, Coach Katie Danger, U.S. Army veteran, fitness coach, and founder of Red H Nutrition. Here's a fact for you. 99% of us are not elite athletes. We're individuals from all backgrounds, juggling life's priorities, including jobs, our families, their needs, and trying to find time to take care of ourselves. Every single week when you tune in, I'll be discussing clear, concise, and actionable strategies you can use to get the most from your fitness, nutrition, and mindset so you can optimize your life without compromising your time. So athletes, settle in and get comfortable. I'm here to educate, inspire, empower, and entertain you to help you enjoy the unique fitness journey that you are on. Hey athletes, what is up? It is Coach Katie Danger, and thank you so much for joining me for another podcast episode. I just love sharing this time with you. I do want to let you know that for the next month, so it is just the start of November here as I'm recording this live. It's November 8th, actually. It's a Monday. I'm going to be taking a month off from podcasting. So there will be a hiatus of at least 4 weeks as we enter into the holiday season, because I have a lot of stuff I'm launching for January 1st, and then I'm getting some things in line for Black Friday with Red H Nutrition. So the supplement business, the coaching business, I'm just incredibly busy, and I want to make sure that I can put all of my eggs in one basket rather than, always flying all over in many different directions. So I decided to take a month off, a little hiatus. I'll have lots of awesome content coming for you in the new year. So when January hits, come back, check the new podcast. You're going to love it. But this week, so here's what we're talking about. It stems from some conversations I had when I was a level 1 CrossFit coach here in Omaha. But I want to talk about get started now. Don't wait. There is no reason to prepare to be prepared than to start. You have to start now. Everybody is a beginner at some point. Literally everybody. Think of the people that you know that are experts in things. Like if you love CrossFit, okay, Rich Froning. If you think of football, Patrick Mahomes, basketball, LeBron James, right? We have these people that are really great at what they do, but they were a beginner once too. Like they didn't just come out of the womb, scoring triple doubles every single night, winning national championships, whatever the, accumulation of expertise is in a certain area. Nobody's just born that way. Yes, of course, there's always nature versus nurture and then what you're genetically capable of. But the bottom line is, if we're just talking hobbies and fun things and losing weight, gaining muscle, everybody can do that. And that just takes a mentality of getting started, not waiting, and knowing that you're going to learn a lot in the process. And the longer that you hold off preparing to prepare, well, the less time you're actually spending in the trenches learning what you need to learn. But this all comes from conversations I'd have when I was coaching CrossFit. So we'd run these Groupons or New Year's specials, and you get somebody who does the first intro class. You walk them through the class, they love it. They've obviously got a workout. And then, of course, you go to that sales portion. You're like, what did you think of it? Do you want to join? They're like, oh, I had a great workout, but I'm just not fit enough to do this yet. So I'm going to actually sign up for a Planet Fitness membership and get in shape and then come back when I'm in shape. And I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. That is just contradictory. So you're telling me you want to go get in shape so then you can come get in shape. And I get it. That perspective comes from, at least when we're talking in the CrossFit context, we're talking about, they look at that, they're like, oh gosh, well, there's no way that I could do that. Like I haven't even done this yet. Okay, so we have to change the perspective. This applies with anything that you do. If you want to be a writer and you want to write a full, let's say fiction novel, but you're like, oh, well, I'm going to start, I'm just going to start writing maybe X, Y, or Z first and get my feet wet, or maybe I'm only going to do online blogs because it's safe. And you're getting ready to get ready. Well, you are ready. You're ready, and you need to get started now. Absolutely need to get started now. Especially as we are having this conversation, I'm recording this podcast. We're just getting into November. The holidays are going to be here before you know it. And then you blink, it's January 1st, and you're like, oh my God, I need to get back on track. And that's kind of where that New Year's resolution always stems from, is people just let everything go to shit for the next 2 months. Thanksgiving, Christmas, oh, I'm just too busy. Oh, the kids, oh, presents. and you don't take any time for yourself. And that's the thing about being ready. When you always are preparing to being ready, life is always going to hand you something else. And unless you put that getting started on your goals, taking that first step until that becomes a number one priority, you're always going to be in this purgatory, this limbo of frustration of, I'm still not ready yet. There is no getting ready. If you've got a goal and your sights set on a goal, you have to get started. And here's the cool thing. Since we're talking about fitness here, like I'm only going to stay in my lane, right? I'm not going to talk about being the best investor or being the best writer. I'm talking about reaching your fitness goals, whether that's losing weight or gaining muscle. This is what I'm good at. And any coach worth their salt should be able to tell you that in a very kind way that waiting to get ready before starting on a program is silly. You need to get started now. And here's why, though. When we as coaches are planning training phases, we program in a prep phase, like a base training phase. And this is where that concept of periodization comes in. And you might have heard of periodization before. So you probably know what training you're going to be doing tomorrow, right? Like if I asked you, what are you training today? What are you training tomorrow? Most people are like, I'll be doing this or I'll be doing this. But if you ask them, well, what are you going to be doing 5 months from now? Deer in headlights. Like, what do you mean 5 months from now? What the hell are you talking about? This is where a periodized plan, periodization, moving you through key steps of training and built-in preparatory phases, so you're ready for the next step. This is how you plan ahead. You blend the right amount of intensity, volume, recovery, and progression so you can reach your peak when you've put in, your time frame, or maybe you've got a race that you're setting your sights on. A lot of people, when they make weight loss goals, they're like, I'm going to lose X amount of pounds in 6 months. So you could build a periodized training program around that goal, should it also be realistic. In coaching terms, you'll see micro planning and macro planning. Micro is like day to day, maybe week to week, but then macro is that long term. And that's where periodization is macro planning. It's putting all of these pieces of a training plan together in several chunks that focus on improving different aspects of your fitness rather than trying doing everything at once, right? So we're building tiny little skills along the way. It applies to any sport, any fitness goal, weight loss, muscle building, any goal that you have in fitness. This concept of periodization applies to, and then it completely negates your argument or anybody's argument of I need to prepare to get ready to be ready, et cetera, right? So when I design a training plan, periodization is the first thing I think about. Even if this person perhaps comes in as a professional athlete in that sport already.
Hey, I know and you know that I talk a lot about using supplements on your fitness journey and reaching your full potential. How I believe they're integral pieces of the puzzle to reaching your best self and best fitness results. But do you know how supplements fit into your plan? Do you know what to take for your goals and how much of a supplement you should take? If you've ever had any of those questions and you want to know how supplements can work for you and your goals, go to yourfitnesssupplements.com and take the free 3-point personalized supplement assessment. And with just a few questions, you'll have a complete personalized supplement recommendation in less than 60 seconds. You'll know more about how supplements fit into your fitness goals, what's safe, and what's effective and perfect for you. So type in yourfitnesssupplements.com in your internet browser, take the free assessment, and get on the fast track to your best fitness results.
All right, so this applies to any aspect of any sport. So it's really awesome. But the whole purpose of this podcast is I want to take you through some of those key training phases and how this can help you understand that, okay, you're right. I don't need to prepare to be ready. I'm ready. Like I got to go because this plan is going to take me from point A to point B to C to D all the way to Z. It will. So here's some key training phases. We do have a prep phase, and this is where everything begins. This is all about preparing your body and your mind for regular training. Typically, it's like 4 weeks long. And during this time, you're getting off the couch. You're starting to build some training momentum. You're taking moments after moments after moments. And every 2 to 3 moments, guess what? Now you have momentum. And that's what we're doing here, racking up consistent, regular workouts. I love this phase because it's basically guilt-free. You can miss a few sessions. It's not the end of the world. This is just you getting used to working out. So that's the prep phase. So prep phase, we are preparing you. The first phase is prep phase. So that's why Don't wait, get started. Then we move into the second base phase. This is usually the longest period of periodization, like 12 weeks long, about 3 months. And once you've done those 4 weeks of prep training, now we move on to base. And it's basically been described as like an Egyptian pyramid. You have to have a very broad base. That way you can build a higher peak on. So if we start really honing in the skills and the focus on training and making sure that your sessions, your workouts, your food and things are quality, we can build a very, very strong foundation so that we can build a very high peak. Essentially saying the stronger foundation we build, the sky's the limit. We're focusing on increasing general fitness here without interruption of any of your normal daily life tasks. The base phase is important, but it also fits into your life. Now, if you've got some sort of race or goal, let's say like bodybuilding, a run, maybe a bike race or something like that, this is where kind of build phase comes in. And then if we're talking about weight loss or building muscle specifically, build phase is where things are fine-tuned for fat loss or for building muscle. We might be looking at key workouts. We're focusing on heart rate training for losing weight, or we're focused on high intensity interval workouts with less rest for building muscle. We schedule in key workouts, we fine tune the diet, and it's a great way to build confidence because you've built the skills, you've built the foundation. Now let's really see what you're made of and let's put all those new skills to test. And then there can be a peak phase, and this generally comes as we get towards the end of your specific training program, your weight loss program, or your muscle building program. The length, this is a smaller phase. This is kind of like, hey, we're zoning things out. Maybe you went on a cut, maybe you went on a bulk, and we have to kind of pull you back into reality. And it's like, okay, we don't need to be as strict. We change up the diet a little bit. We change up some workouts. Maybe you get some longer rest days and have more intense training. Just all kind of depends on what the end goal here is. But the peak phase is it. This is where maybe you test. Like if you're going to run a race, you do another pace test. If you've been tracking your body metrics, body fat, muscle mass, maybe you go and get an in-body scan and we see what those actual percentages have increased or decreased to depending on your goal. So peak phase is it. This is like where all your hard work comes to a peak. We track progress and then we assess, okay, where do we go from here? Is it time for a rest period where you rest and recover? You kind of reevaluate what your goals are, and then you talk with your coach and you go from there. So that could be a transition phase. Not everybody goes through a transition phase. Kind of depends on how your base building and your peak phase went. But transition can just be that off period. If you were training for a race and you put in 12, 24, maybe 36 weeks of training, take some time off, like 2 to 12 weeks, just to relax and recover, especially if it was intense training. Your body might need a little bit of a reset. It's always important to do that so you can come back fresh into a new training program, no matter what you're doing. So that's why I love periodization, because there's different phases and different training and eating protocols, and even the way somebody's coach changes as they go through those phases, the prep phase, the base phase, building, peaking, and then determine where are we going next. Are we going to take some transition off? Are we going to, reevaluate our goals and see where we're going to go? This is why there's no reason to ever wait on your goals, because in and of itself, a training program, no matter what it's for a race, for a run, for a triathlon, to lose weight, to lose 30 pounds, to build muscle, whatever it is, periodization applies. And you're always going to start out preparing for another phase. So you're preparing as you go along. There's no reason to wait. There's no reason to prepare on your own. There's no reason to assume you know what to do. If you're ready to reach your goals, you just got to say, all right, enough with this. I'm all in. Dive in the deep end. It's not as scary as you think, I promise you. I've dove in the deep end a lot of times in my life, and it's been scary every time, but then it ends up not being as scary as I thought it was. So as we enter into the last month and a half of the year, don't wait to get started until January 1st. Get started today, like right now, like right when you turn off this podcast, or you get to where you're going, or you shut off the TV, or wake up tomorrow morning. Get started. And if you need help getting started with anything, especially if it's fitness related, that is my bread and butter. That is where I shine. I love helping people reach their goals and realize what power they have to control the outcomes of their life. that we are not subject to the context and the circumstances we surround ourselves with unless we choose to be. So send me an email, katie@coachkatiedanger.com. Let me know what you're training for. Let me know what your goals are. I'd love to point you in the right direction. Maybe it's working with me. Maybe it's working with another one of my coaches in my network. But nonetheless, I'd love to hear from you. So send me an email, katie@coachkatiedanger.com. And athletes, I want to thank you again for joining me for this podcast episode. It's always awesome. It's a pleasure. I am looking forward to diving into some marketing work and some Red H nutrition work. So like I said, I'm taking a month off, a hiatus, but please join me the first week of January. I'll have a great episode to kick off the new year. If you want to follow me in the meantime, check out Instagram @Coach Katie Danger. You can always email me, katie@coachkatiedanger.com, or join my monthly coaching fitness group, Full Send Fitness Coaching. It's $9 a month. You get a ton of stuff. You get access to me, my brain. I'll answer personalized questions for you as well. So it's like having a coach in your back pocket. It's $9 a month. New recipes every month, new training templates every month. It's well worth your $9. And you can get that at my website, coachkatiedanger.com. So join me today. I would love to have you. We also have a private Facebook group, so we'll get you introduced then too. But let me know if you guys need anything. I am always here to help you crush your goals. And in the meantime, trust yourself, believe in the process, and whatever you do, don't ever, ever, ever quit on yourself. All right, guys, athletes, until next time, this is Coach Katie D, over and out.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.